Donald Trump has signed an executive order requiring proof of citizenship for people registering to vote. Or PBS just says outright for voters. And of course, Democrats are apoplectic, but it don't matter. The polls have come in. Politico, The Hill, many other mainstream publications have stated, Democrats are in their own mini civil war. They have no leader. They're not likely going to win the midterms, even though it's kind of far out. Considering Donald Trump is now going after, first he went after USAID and these other strange funding sources for NGOs. We think this is a big component in the machine states. Now requiring citizenship for voters certainly will get challenged. But this shows Donald Trump understands the issue with the electoral system. And if these moves succeed, I don't think Democrats will ever win again in their current iteration. Now, 45% of Democrats, according to Gallup, want the party to become more moderate. Here's a sad thing. 22% think it should stay the same, which is crazy. And 29% think it should be crazier. So the plurality think the Democratic Party should be crazy or crazier. I don't think Democrats are going to be able to muster up any sane kind of defense to Donald Trump by the midterms, and he literally just got in office. So we're going to talk about that, plus a bunch of other stories. Before we do, my friends, we have an amazing sponsor. It's American Financing. So I don't know your exact situation, my friends, but if you're like the thousands of homeowners that American Financing talks to every month, you're struggling to keep up, barely making ends meet, drowning in high interest debt. It's not your fault. Life got more expensive, inflation hit hard, and now you're still carrying credit card balances of 20% plus interest rates while your mortgage sits untouched. You're ignoring the one thing that could turn it all around, your home. This is where American Financing can help. Would you trade 10 minutes for a shot at saving an average of $800 every single month? Because that's exactly what homeowners are doing when they call American Financing. A simple, no-obligation call could change everything. They have a team of salary-based mortgage consultants, so there isn't any incentive to put you into a loan that doesn't make sense. And there are no upfront fees to find out how much you can save. Don't wait. Call American Financing today and start feeling that relief. 866-890-7811. That's 866-890-7811. Or visit americanfinancing.net/Tim. Shout out to American Financing for sponsoring the show. Also, don't forget to go to Cast Brew Coffee at castbrew.com and pick up some Appalachian Nights. We got a bunch of amazing flavors. Ian's Graphene Dream is officially back in stock. You guys can't get enough of it. Get it while you can. There's 1,656 bags available, my friends. And Ian sells like 1,000 plus bags per week. Considering the demand for Ian's Graphene Dream over at castbrew.com, I recommend you buy it now before it's too late. And don't forget to go to boonieshq.com. We only have a few left of the 28th Amendment skateboards. Look at that chicken doodle. It is a picture of a chicken. It is the greatest chicken doodle ever made. And it reads the 28th Amendment. Chickens being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep, bear, and breed chickens shall not be infringed. And if you believe that is true, then you got to buy one of these skateboards. Or more importantly, if you own chickens and you've got like a backyard, a coop or something like that, get one of these, hang it up. It's a great decorative piece, and really do appreciate your guys' support. Don't forget to also smash that like button. Share the show with everyone you know right now. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is Terrence Williams.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to be on here. So I'm excited. I ain't been on here since Donald Trump won. So, I'm so excited, man. It's been a great time.
Who are you? What do you do?
Oh, well, I thought everybody knew who I was. I'm just
Maybe
playing.
there's some people who don't.
I'm not that famous, but I'm a comedian. I am also the Pancake King. And speaking of comedian, I'm going on tour with Adam Carolla. I'll be in Florida and on May 4th, and with a conservative hand on May 5th. So go to terrenckwilliams.com and I'll see you in Florida.
Right on. Mary's hanging out.
Hi, I'm Mary Morgan, and you can usually find me on Pop Culture Crisis here at Timcast. Glad to be back.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and a counter-revolutionary. Let's get into it.
Here's the news from pbs.org. Trump signs action requiring proof of citizenship for voters, other measures overhauling U.S. elections. They say Trump signed a sweeping executive action to overhaul elections in the U.S., including requiring documentary proof. Documentary? You mean like documented proof?
I guess.
citizenship to register to vote in federal elections. It's a weird way to phrase it. Like people got to come in and be like, I made this 1 hour long documentary about my life proving that I was born here. The order says the U.S. has failed to enforce basic and necessary election protections and calls on the states to work with federal agencies to share voter lists and prosecute election crimes. It threatens to pull federal funding from states where election officials don't comply. The move, which is likely to face swift challenges from voting rights organizations, is consistent with Trump's long history of railing against election processes. He often claims elections are being rigged even before the results are known, and has waged battles against certain voting methods since he lost in 2020. Trump has focused particularly on mail-in voting, arguing, I love how they do this, without evidence, that it's insecure and invites fraud, even as he has shifted his position on the issue, given its popularity with voters, including Republicans. While fraud occurs, it's rare. You see, I got a question. Why do they do that?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think we know the reason why, but let me just point out a couple things. They say, arguing without evidence, it's this nonsense statement. It's fake anyway, because Trump has cited many examples. And then it goes on to say, while fraud occurs, it's rare. Why? We used to have a news team. We don't have a news team anymore at Timcast. And we wrote an article that said, Donald Trump says thing. And it was a quote. And it was like, today Donald Trump appeared before a group of people and he said this, that, or otherwise, and he planned to do this thing. We got a ding from NewsGuard because they were like, you didn't fact check Trump. And we were like, we're a news organization. We reported that Donald Trump came out and we quoted him. And they said, yeah, his quote was wrong. And I said, that is not our responsibility. We are not a fact-checking organization. We are just literally reporting the news. We know why they're doing this. They're poisoning the well with these stories so that anybody who reads it instantly, without evidence, thinks Trump is wrong. So let me just try this. PBS.org says, without evidence, that Trump made a claim without evidence. Do they have any, is there any proof they have that Trump never cited any anomalous things in elections?
Absolutely not. I mean, these are the same people who accuse Trump of things when they didn't have any type of evidence at all.
Yeah.
I mean, most of these companies, most of these news organizations like CNN and MSNBC, PBS, they never come with facts or evidence at all. So I find it really funny I find it funny that they're reporting that Trump is claiming things without evidence.
Well, let's just start here. Democrats are never going to win again if Trump succeeds in these efforts.
What do you mean succeeds in these efforts to?
Well, they're going to try and block him from this. But if you get a citizenship question, it's not just about. Okay, first of all, I'll say this. It's literally not about illegal immigrants voting. That's stupid. We've been over this a million times. Illegal immigrants do not vote. Sometimes they do. It's rare. Non-citizens don't vote. Sometimes they do. It's rare. They get caught, but they don't vote in any meaningful numbers. The reason why Democrats want non-citizens in their states is to bolster their census numbers so they get extra congressional seats and extra electoral college votes. So if they can bring in 750,000 people into California, they get an extra electoral college vote.
Yeah.
They'll get an extra. That means those people may as well be voting. Mm-hmm. So why would Donald Trump then say you need proof of citizenship to vote? Because it will weed out voters who are no longer living or duplicate voters. It'll make it extremely difficult to double register in multiple states. So one of the things that we saw in 2020, there was an interview with a guy who was from Tennessee. I think he was from Arizona or Tennessee, but he was in the other state. And he said that he was listed as having voted in his home state, despite the fact that he moved for college and did not vote in that state. And because these states are all independent of the elections are not federal, they're state. If one person votes in California and the same name appears in Arizona, these states don't cross their databases over to make sure there's no double voting because the states are each an independent election to determine who the president is going to be. By requiring proof of citizenship, it's extremely it's a little bit more difficult to falsely register somebody else on their behalf.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, listen, they're going to do anything they can do to cheat, to be honest. Like, this is just going to stop, all the things that, to be honest, a lot of people, I had a friend in California who lives in California, and during the last election, he said that he wanted to see if it was true, if he would be able to vote twice. So he went, and he did not vote twice, okay, so I don't want anybody, I don't want to, so don't call the feds or anything. I don't want to talk to nobody. Okay, he did not vote twice. But he said, though, when he went to the polls that they were not checking IDs. And he went there again to see if they would let him vote again. and they literally said, yes, you can vote. They didn't even check his
The
ID.
same polling location?
The same polling location?
Yeah.
He went to the same one.
The same one with the same people manning
the
it.
same one.
You said that's in California?
Yes, this was in California.
If I understand correctly, in California, it's illegal for them to, like, actually illegal to
Yeah.
ask for identification, which that makes me wonder how this is going to impact those kind of things. I know there's California, and there might be one other place where it's illegal to ask for any kind of ID, which is
California. They made it illegal to ask for ID,
So
which
wait,
is
if
the
you're
weirdest
another
thing.
place
You
too?
can get a government-issued ID without being a citizen, then what would we use as documentary proof
Yeah.
of citizenship? What would it be?
So it's probably going to be a
Birth certificate?
passport or a birth certificate.
Okay, that's so funny. I forget if I mentioned this before, but I was just like chatting with the protesters again, and they said that if people are forced to bring their birth certificate to vote, that women who are married are going to be denied the vote because
Yeah.
they've changed their last name.
I have a feeling
Which
that
is
It's
going
called-
to affect Republican women more than Democrat women.
If that
you think about
ever
it, but
were a consideration, they need only bring their marriage certificate with them.
I have a feeling that
Yeah.
the real ID, the new, most states require a real ID now. There's only a handful of states that are holding out. New Hampshire is one of them, but I believe the real ID is counts as a
No way.
citizen proof of citizenship.
No.
So they're going to
Think
require.
so?
No way.
But you can get one of those without being a citizen, right?
Right. Yeah. You get a real ID license if the DMV has updated their protocols and are in a federal database. So all you got to do is bring a piece of mail. You can use a credit card. Like when you go, it's like, we need proof of your identity, and you can go and bring a birth certificate, credit card, and a couple other things. But they do allow people to get driver's licenses if they're non-citizens.
Yeah.
Real ID,
So-
real ID does count as proof of citizenship for U.S. citizens.
So
So then this is meaningless.
So they're going to ask for what? A birth certificate? That's it? Or
gonna
a
ask for
social security card?
They're going to ask for proof of citizenship, and the real ID counts as proof of citizenship for U.S. citizens.
Okay, so what
So-
Trump is
so-
calling for isn't even extensive enough.
So that means well, illegal immigrants shouldn't be allowed to have an actual an ID in this country. Period. No type of ID. Correct. Illegal immigrants shouldn't even be able to get a library card. Not any. They shouldn't have any type of ID at all.
I agree, but there's obviously the left doesn't, and the reason they don't is because of like
They were
Imagine,
telling us that they're too stupid to get an ID this whole time.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this probably doesn't apply in this scenario. And real ID, it makes no. I don't know where you're seeing that, because it makes no sense. If non-citizens can get real IDs, how is it proof you're a citizen?
I Googled it. I asked. It's in Brave, so I can go to Google and check.
I'd imagine that's incorrect.
Glock.
Like drivers, people, like tons of non-citizens have driver's licenses.
Tons of them don't too.
You know what they should also do? They should also scan those IDs. Like there were times when I went out to the bar or to a club. I'll show them my ID, but then they scan it to make sure it's a real ID, to make sure it's not a fake, because people can have fake IDs as well.
can't even buy
So
a
what if
can
you
of
went there and
Zings
you had a
without
fake
doing
ID?
Grok says real ID is not.
Not
Yeah, it's not. Driver's license are not proof of citizenship, because they inherit. The criteria for getting one is you can have a permanent resident card, you can have a foreign passport with a U.S. visa to get an ID in this country. I mean, or to get a driver's license. So real ID is the states are now in a linked database.
You just show up and you're like McLovin.
So Brave browser's
Yes.
wrong. Yeah. So I just Googled it, and Google AI says no, real ID is not proof of citizenship as well.
But I think they're going to have
Google
to have
says it is not.
They're
And
gonna
the
have-
source here is Homeland Security.
Yeah. Google and Grok both say no. It was Brave's.
Well, DHS.gov says real ID is not proof of citizenship.
So it has to be birth certificate? Social
It
Security?
appears so.
Are there people out there with fake birth certificates?
Of course.
How are they going to verify these documents are not real?
Here's another secret for you. You can get a birth certificate for anybody.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So when they go to these voting polls, are they going to have scanners to make sure that this ID is real, that the birth certificate is real? How are they going to confirm? Because people have fake passports, people have fake IDs, people have,
It's also,
fake
it's rare,
everything.
but some people share the same social security number as well.
So we should take extra steps to ensure that these documents are legit. Because I don't put it past the Democrats. They may help people somehow.
I think you should have to do the fitness gram
They
tracer test.
they may funnel some money and help people come create fake IDs and birth certificates. You know, people they will do whatever they have to, whatever they can do to cheat. I don't put anything past these
I'm gonna
people.
go with you have to spell you have to go through the alphabet backwards. Then you have to do the fitness gram pacer test. What else?
I don't know, but I don't like the idea of having to go through the alphabet backwards.
You have to.
That one,
Gotta do this one. Gotta do this one.
You
that
have
one
to
was
know
always
the
weird to
name.
me, like going through the alphabet backwards. Like, wouldn't everybody screw that up?
I mean, my girlfriend says that she can do it.
What if they? Yeah, maybe.
That's fake. They never asked for that.
What are the names of the founding fathers? They can't.
How many?
I mean, most people can't name any of them.
Well,
Like you. I got to be honest. I don't think anybody in this room can name more than a handful.
You have to do a times table, maybe.
Bro, I could read a name off the Declaration of Independence. You'd be like, who's that?
I can name them.
How
You
many?
got
of them?
you got Thomas Jefferson.
You've got cousin T.
You got John Adams. You got Martin Luther King. You got
I mean, you're missing Ben Franklin. And you're,
Terrence, you can't vote.
you're missing,
There's at least 56 people.
Okay, the ones that only matter to us, the ones that we talk about the most.
To be fair, I think they all matter.
Well, yes, but I'm talking about, but we only talk about like 4 or 5 of them the most.
Exactly, but actually,
I guess they all matter, but I'm saying America, we glorify
you
about
have to
4
list-
or 5 of
You have to
them.
list. You have to list all of them except for the well-known ones like Thomas Jefferson and James Madison and Hamilton and stuff.
like, what do you think would happen if like George Clymer showed up here and he was like, certainly this time I'm labeled and listed as one of the great heroes of this country, and they're like,
Nobody would
who are
even
you?
believe it.
Who are you? Right.
Who? And he's like, I signed the Declaration of Independence for Pennsylvania. And they're like, why are you talking like that? People didn't talk like that back then. You're
You
right.
went to your colony and nobody knew you.
I also want to stress, back then people talked the exact same way that we do now. The British accent as we know it was created after the colonies were already formed.
What?
Yep.
No way.
Yeah. So we actually have so we speak real English. They speak. So what happened in the UK, they decided that they wanted to be uppity. And so they started intentionally speaking a non-rhotic form of English and teaching kids to talk that way.
Oh.
And we actually speak closer to real English than they do.
I thought that the American Southern accent was derivative of the English
Scottish,
accent.
I thought.
Oh, it's
I
Scottish?
think it's Scottish.
There's
Perhaps.
a lot of founding fathers. I didn't even.
That's right.
I'm over here talking.
Papa
I don't
John?
even know my damn self.
Like, come
I'm
on,
over
dude.
here
Who knows
suggesting stuff?
Button Gwinnett? Button Gwinnett? Georgia?
George
With all due
Mason.
respect, this guy signed the Declaration of Independence for Georgia. That's based. But I don't know. Caesar Rodney?
John Jay is an easy name to remember. Why don't we
Everybody-
talk about John Jay?
Well, people know about John Jay.
Colonel Sanders.
I never heard of John Jay.
Okay, Colonel Sanders, Papa John, Ronald McDonald, who else?
The modern founding
The
fathers.
Hamburglar.
Grimace.
Cat Williams.
Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Yeah, Grimace is up there too.
Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Target dog.
Spud
That's,
McKenzie.
I mean,
from the 90s.
unironically, more representative of our values today than the
Why-
actual founding fathers.
Unfortunately, that's true.
I'm going back to school.
There's this video that was going viral where a guy says there's trisodium phosphate in Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So he goes to a Home Depot and he's like, here's trisodium phosphate. It's a cleaning agent. And then he was like, they actually don't sell the phosphate version anymore. They have alternatives because TSP, as it's called, is dangerous. So he orders some online and shows the warning label saying dangerous if inhaled or consumed. And then he's like, but it's in Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And he's like, we got to have better options. And I just got bad news for everybody. I watched a commercial on the TV where a morbidly obese man was eating pizza. And then when he takes the bite, he goes, oh, and it's like, don't give up the foods you love. Take this drug. And there was a drug advertisement. And then he takes the pill and he's like, and then starts eating the pizza. And I'm like, dude, if the food is physically causing pain, stop doing it. Stop eating it. But people would rather eat food that is destroying them and take a drug to cover it up
That's me.
than not eat unhealthy things.
It is an addiction. I was talking to a couple fellas in the green room earlier. A lot of people don't know I was addicted to really addicted to sweets, cake and cupcakes, birthday cake and cupcakes.
Not pancakes?
People will come to my house. I love pancakes, but I'm talking about just sweets. People will come to my house and ask me, well, whose birthday is it? Because I would have I would have an actual birthday cake a whole layer of cake sitting out. I'm like, it's somebody's birthday. I would wake up in the morning, cut a piece of cake, and drink coffee. And then I said, you know what? This is not healthy. So I started buying the smaller cup. So I started buying tiny cupcakes, and I would eat those in the morning with coffee. But then I looked at the calories and said, oh, well, I guess it's the same.
Is it true? I heard that in the black community they put a lot of sugar in food. They put extra sugar.
Oh yeah, and especially in Kool-Aid. We don't even look at the recipe. People say how much sugar you should put in there. I'll be like, I don't know, just keep pouring until it tastes good. But yeah, I know people who put sugar in their spaghetti.
Oh, that is
absolutely crazy. Yep. But I used to do this. I loved eating sugar I would put sugar and butter in my rice. It was so delicious.
Well, that is
sugar, butter,
that
rice.
Reminds me, Uncle Ben. There's another founding father right there.
We used to
Aunt Jemima, founding mother,
Mrs. Butterworth.
I used to make a toast. I used to make toast, and I would put either sugar and butter on the toast, or syrup on the toast.
Well, come on,
so a syrup sandwich,
buttered toast with cinnamon sugar.
That's
amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Let's get back to the news. Let's jump to the story from Politico. They say we dug into the polls. Democrats in Congress should be very afraid. You see, I mentioned in the previous segment that Democrats are never going to win again if Donald Trump succeeds in his efforts to require proof of citizenship for voting. But it ain't just about whether or not Donald Trump can actually make it harder for them to game the system. Everybody hates them. So Politico.com mentions that for the first time in their polling history, this is which polling? Quinnipiac. For the first time in Quinnipiac polling history, Democrats are underwater, -9 net approval, while Republicans are enjoying a 69% approval, which is absolutely crazy. Now, this is among their party. So 69% of Republicans like the Republican Party, and it's gone up. Among Democrat voters, they view the Democratic Party extremely negatively. Now, here's why I say they're never going to win. Take a look at this from Gallup. They found 22% of Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents in 2025 want the party to stay the same. 29% want it to be more liberal, and 45% want it to be more moderate. So the way I explain this is I combine the more liberal and stay the same in the same category. And I'll tell you why. The party is insane. The Democratic Party right now represents...
Absolutely.
They're on the wrong side of numerous 80-20 issues. That's the talking point, right? Immigration, they're on the wrong side. Transgender stuff, wrong side. So if they stay the same, the party is crazy and can't win. If they get more liberal, they're even crazier and they can't win. That means 51% of the Democratic Party wants to be crazy enough to not win ever again. and 45 are saying, please moderate. You know, I love this because it means that 45%, they're going to come knocking. They're going to say, Terrence, I don't know. The Democrats are crazy. I'm buying waffles from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, this is why President Trump won. Like I said before, there were people who I know that did not like Trump at all, would never vote for him, but they voted for him in this past election just because they thought the Democrats were so crazy.
Democrats are crazy.
And I know people who they do not like Trump as a person, but they voted for him. And this one lady said, she said, I'm gonna vote for Trump, but I'm gonna hold my nose while I'm doing it. But she still voted for him. She just couldn't believe it. She was sick to her stomach that she felt like she had to vote for him because the party that she's been supporting is absolutely insane.
They're not voting for Trump. They're voting against the Democrats.
Exactly.
Because the Democrats are completely insane. I know that the polling will tell you that this is not a major factor, but the party that says men can become women and women can become men will not win. You cannot change your gender. And
Absolutely
the demand that the Democrats make that you participate in that charade will always lose them. You will always lose the majority of people.
I have one prediction, or maybe just a theory, that they are amenable to the idea of moderating on those types of issues, on gender ideology, LGBT stuff, all of those massively unpopular things. But what they're planning to do is radicalize on class division.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Emphasize class as much as possible and
right now,
de-emphasize all of the
they have
marginalized groups aside from that.
tons of work to do on that because the MAGA movement has already taken the middle class away from the Democrats. The Democrats decided that they were going for the very wealthy and the very poor, the people that are on some kind of government assistance, and the extremely wealthy, and they have no one else.
The reason why they can't do that is that trans activists will show up to all of their events and scream at the top of their lungs.
Throw fireballs.
Yeah, but you know what? Common sense is back. We need to live in reality. You know, they push all this trans shit. This is, excuse my language. I know this is not the after hours. I don't want to get carried away with cussing. I don't want to get carried away with cussing.
Save it.
But it's hard to cut. It's hard not to cuss when you're talking about Democrats. I mean, at home, behind closed doors, I say, the profanity that I use when I talk about Democrats is absolutely insane. But yeah, I mean, common sense is back. Pushing, trying to forcing trans issues onto every American is absolutely just insane. You know, they would say, trans issues are black issues. What the hell are you, what in the cornbread hell are you talking about? What do you mean trans issues are black issues? I
think they know that that's a regrettable decision, and they're planning to moderate their rhetoric on it, but they're planning to radicalize rhetoric that's related to class division and not talking about the middle class, but talking about the rich and the not rich, the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah,
is that what you're sensing?
They're definitely trying to do the oligarchy thing. AOC is doing it with Bernie. Their core message right now is that billionaires have too much money. Look,
it was popular in 2016.
Yeah, the problem is, I don't know if that's going to work for the average person. They're trying to go to working class people and saying the reason you're broke is because a rich person stole it from you. But the problem still remains, if they abandon the gender issue, or if they try to just downplay it, Republicans will pounce.
Yeah.
And they're going to try and play they tried this already. They're going to say, it's such a small population. Why are you so focused on it?
Yeah.
But that Kamala's for they, them commercial really did hit hard. It got a lot of people.
The reason that people are so focused on it is because they want to enshrine it into law that your child can go to the teacher and hide the things like I'm a trans child to the teacher. What they're doing is they're putting the state in between parents and children. That is always a loser, first of all. And second of all, the situation, if they decide to go with a class war, the people that have been in positions of authority in the Democrat Party, they're all millionaires too.
Most Americans believe that the trans movement is a very weird, delusional movement. Like, how could you be a man? And I don't care what you into. How could you be a man? How can you just cut off your private parts and just throw it in the trash?
No.
Like, you just cut it off and threw it away? Women cutting off their breasts, removing their breasts. When you have when you have women out here who have breast cancer and they have to remove their breasts to save their lives, and they wish they would die they would literally do anything to have breasts again, but they can't because they have breast cancer. They have to get rid of it. And then you got these women out here, healthy as it can be, cutting off their breasts. It's sick. It is absolutely sickening.
It's not just that one issue. The left is insane on a plethora of topics. Mm-hmm. The average American supports Israel. That's a reality. And you've got these people in line who want to claim otherwise. Not the case. Poll after poll after poll shows it. They can make every excuse in the world for it. But this country is still largely Christian, and there are Christians who want the U.S. to be supporting Israel. That's why Donald Trump is going so heavily in support of Israel, because it's an 80-20 issue. And the Democrats are they're moving to the wrong side of that one as well.
And one more thing, if they do try that specific angle of that angle or whatever, all it takes is a good economy, and that loses, because people that are satisfied, that feel like they have the ability to better their position in lives, they don't vote for class wars.
I have also been hearing that we're heading into a recession.
I'm not saying that
is that realistic.
I'm not trying to predict the future. I'm saying that if the economy is good for 6 months before the election, then the Democrats will lose on that.
If we-
and also the thing that we're talking about is the Democrats are they've lost a ton of people from California, from multiple states, and the electoral. They're going to lose Congress people from multiple states, and the right is gaining people because all of the people that left New York, all the people that left California because of bad Democrat policies, those people have relocated in places like Florida, places like Texas, and they're going to see a larger number of people that are going to be, or they're going to have more congressional representatives. So these things are going to be a reality as well. So Democrats are not actually looking particularly good, even though historically the party out of power does better in the off-year elections after a president wins.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, we could. I don't think we will go into a recession, but who knows? But if we do, it'll be a minor setback for a major comeback. Okay. And I think a lot of people think we may go into a recession because of the tariffs, because of this tariff war. But I think it'll be a minor setback for a major comeback. Everything that President Trump is doing, it makes sense. Even the reciprocal tariffs that's supposed to happen on Liberation Day, which is April 2nd, that makes sense. If you're charging me 20%, I'm charging you 20%. You charging me 50, I'm gonna charge you 50. This is common sense, okay?
There are multiple companies that have talked about
This is common sense.
There are multiple companies that have talked about significant investment in the United States because of the tariffs. Rolls-Royce is talking about it. I forget what country it was, but a Middle Eastern country is talking about like 1.5 trillion over 10 years. Significant investment is happening in the United States because of talk of tariffs.
But the Democrats know that if we enter into a golden age, there is no way that they can win in 2028. So their job is to destroy up until then. Their job is to make sure that America is not doing well, because if America is doing great, if everybody's eating good and living good, they're not going to win.
It's not just that. It's that their policy positions are insane, out of touch with Americans. And even if Americans are doing bad, they're not presenting them with issues that will make their lives better.
Right.
Let's go to the story from Yahoo News. Liberal social media sensation Kat Abughazaleh, I hope I'm saying that right, announces run for Congress and raises more than $200,000 on first day. Abughazaleh has taken on incumbent Democratic Rep. Jan Schakowsky in Illinois' 9th District. Guys, conservatives, hear me. We need her to campaign. Stop attacking her. Well, actually, I'm conflicted. Money. Yeah, donate to her. And hear me out. Hear me out. I'm going to donate to her. I mean it. I'm going to give her a max contribution, okay? What we're looking at right now is the Democrats are facing their own version of the Tea Party. There is an uprising within the party that thinks that they're too, they capitulate to Donald Trump. They're angry at Chuck Schumer. They're angry at Nancy Pelosi. They want Democrats to go nuts. And I want to help them. Mm-hmm. So when I see this Kat Abughazaleh, and she's a progressive who says she's here to fight fascism, I'm like, please continue. But there's one reason. Please understand. You might be saying, no. I saw her viral video. She's crazy. She's a progressive far left who wants big government. Why support her? Here's the video that went viral.
Mantling our country piece by piece. And so many Democrats seem content to just sit back and let them. So I say it's time to drop the excuses and grow a fucking spine. I'm Kat Abughazaleh, and I'm running for Congress in Illinois' 9th District. Unfortunately, this party has become one where you have to look to the exceptions for real leadership.
Okay, I don't care what she has to say because she says nothing, but understand this. This video went viral. What do y'all notice? There's two things to be noticed about this video. Any guesses?
Lots of jump cuts.
Well, that's
She's
not one of the things.
She's narcoleptic, actually.
Is she really?
That might be why.
She's narcoleptic?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope she's probably on modafinil. That's Provigil. That's for narcolepsy. But no, that's not one of the things, though. A lot of jump cuts.
The keffiyeh.
The keffiyeh. That's number one. For those who don't know, that's the Palestinian scarf. And what's number two?
She left her bathroom door open, but I'm not sure.
Bad haircut.
Oh, that is a bathroom door. How weird.
I mean,
no American flag and a big empty wall.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people pointed out that it's actually kind of strange that somebody would be running, and they usually try to use pro-America images. In this instance, she didn't use anything that represents America, but she did have a keffiyeh. Okay, guys, now I'm going to tell you why I think we should be contributing to her campaign, and we want her to run. She is running in Illinois. Let me see. Did she mention at the end what's going on?
Be wasted on old, ineffective tactics. No spammy guilt trip texts, no focus groups to test my views, and no grifty consultants who care more about their paycheck than actually winning. It's time to challenge the status quo, and if our leaders won't do it, we will. I'm Kat Abughazaleh, and I'm running for Congress because it's time for Democrats to do more.
So it says right there, Illinois 9th. I absolutely love this video.
Wow, she did.
Because I'm building the suspense for you guys. But let me just pull up this here Google Maps. And this is West Rogers Park in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. She's running in Illinois, Illinois 9th District. Why did I say Illinois? Illinois is possessive. So let me pull this up for you because I really want to draw the suspense out and have everyone just get sick and tired of me wasting time. But I do need... where's the stupid link? Congress, Illinois. There we go. Okay. Here we are. Okay. Here's the map on Wikipedia of the 9th District. Notice that it includes that West Rogers Park I mentioned. And why does that matter? It is the largest Jewish community in Chicago. So now I can wrap up my point after building the suspense. This progressive who wants to challenge the status quo is running for Congress with the densest Jewish population in Chicago with a keffiyeh behind her saying, I don't need no consultants. I would love it if she had the resources to travel around this oddly shaped district, espousing her views on Israel-Palestine to a bunch of regular Americans, largely Jewish people in Chicago, because let's just be real. If she wins, she can't win for this reason. But if she does, the Democratic Party will be so crackpot insane, the Republican Party will win a supermajority across the board. Republicans in Congress and the Senate. If she runs in Evanston, you might actually get a Republican to win. If she primaries Jan Schakowsky and actually beats her in the primary, and the general election is between her and a Republican might actually win Illinois' 9th District. So, Kat, I'm here for you. I will make a donation.
I wonder if you looked, or if they've looked into her Twitter account and checked to see if she has a From the River to the Sea tweet.
She has a bunch of stuff that people were sharing about being pro-Palestine, anti-Israel.
Yeah. Pro-Palestine, anti-Israel, asking Jewish people for their vote. That is unlikely.
Not all Jewish people are pro-Israel.
No, true.
But they're overwhelmingly pro-Israel for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So I will say it again. All these Republicans are, okay, first, let me just say, maybe the right thing to do is actually to criticize her, because then the Democrats will think she's the better choice. Maybe we should all be rallying behind Jan Schakowsky to trick the Democrats into voting for her. But I'm just gonna wear my thoughts on my sleeve and say outright, I think she is, first of all, in all sincerity, it is good that young people are running. I know I don't agree with her politically, but I can't stand the neoliberal establishment, Nancy Pelosi, Jan Schakowsky, all these old neoliberal and neoconservative. It just no. Anybody who wants to in primary them, please do so. That being said, if people like her actually form a Democrat version of the Tea Party and oust a bunch of incumbent Democrats, and she actually makes it to Congress, dude, you're going to have like 20 or 30 insane people refusing to vote with Democrats, and the Democratic Party will be in total disarray.
It's going to be like Twitch streamers. It's going to be her and
Yeah, this looks like a really low effort Twitch.
That's exactly. I mean, with the mic and everything, that's exactly what what
it's
it looked like.
relatable.
Yeah, it has. It has the
I
Twitch
want her to
streamer
win this
look.
primary. Look, remember when AOC beat Crowley back in 2018? I was cheering for it because Crowley, he was the 4th highest ranking Democrat in the party. He had like 10 terms, and he got ousted. He's gone. Now, AOC is problem of her own, but I still like seeing the shills get knocked out. That being said, AOC has now basically become the leader of the party, which is funny.
I mean, you look at the way that the people are reacting and talking about AOC out there with Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is clearly too old. AOC is not, and Bernie Sanders has got a lot of energy behind him still. There are still a lot of people that, when they hear Bernie Sanders talk, they're like, yeah, man, I like what he's selling. And so if Bernie Sanders kind of passes the torch to AOC,
which he
I
is.
could completely and totally see AOC running for president. And conservatives,
I hope so. I hope.
No, you listen.
Oh, bro.
Do not underestimate AOC, not because she's a good politician, but because she is a good communicator. Do not underestimate that woman.
I absolutely don't do. I disagree.
You think she's a
I
not
disagree.
A good communicator?
She will listen.
That's
if
ridiculous.
she will not win if she runs for president. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that she will lose votes. Listen, Kamala Harris didn't only lose just because she was dumb. Okay, she was dumber than a box of rocks. There are a lot of people in this country, and I'm actually friends with quite a few people like this. They will not vote for a woman, period. I know women who will not vote for women just because they're women. So she's
Those
not.
are just the people who admit that they wouldn't vote for a woman. Most of it is a subconscious decision.
Yes, but that's why I say she will not win. She won't.
She represents the people in the Democrat Party who don't want to moderate, and Newsom, on the other hand, represents the people in the Democrat Party who want to moderate strategically.
Yes.
And
Working.
AOC is going to shove trans shit. She's going to shove the trans, the damn trans movement down everybody's throat in 2028. She's going to do the same thing that Kamala
I
Harris
disagree.
did.
She's not going to do that.
You don't think she'll do that?
Her and Bernie are already trying to go class war, like Mary was mentioning.
Yeah.
They're doing the Fight the Oligarchy tour. The issue is that they cannot remove the gender ideology and other weird woke stuff from the party. If they start doing rallies, their goal right now, I think, is this. You can't remove it from the party. Let's just focus on oligarchy and the ultra wealthy and try and make this a 1% versus the 99% thing. The issue is you are going to get far-left activists like they did to Bernie Sanders in 2016 who are going to go on stage, grab the mic from him and say white supremacy. So they will try to ignore it, and they're trying to ignore it now. It's not going to work. Also, Abughazaleh's dad is Palestinian.
Yep.
Well,
I do not see how she wins in this district, but maybe with our support, she actually will. So let me just say right now, I may regret this, but I hope she wins this primary, and I'm going to do what I can to help.
Listen,
I just can't. I can't even pronounce the last name.
if you have a
Cat
an
Abughazaleh.
economic problem, if you have a poor economy, and Bernie Sanders passing the torch to AOC, she is absolutely poised to take over the Democrat Party. You may not like her. I certainly don't. But the way that she can reach people, the way when she gets on her Instagram page and she does the spaces or whatever you call it, the lives or whatever, she gets tons of people watching, and that's just her sitting there BSing. You can't, and they're right now. Bernie and her are getting 15,000 people coming out. I'm not saying that I'm not, making a prediction that she'd win, but the right would be absolutely idiotic to underestimate that energy. Absolutely.
I think she will have a lot of energy, but I would put everything I own on the table to say she will not win. She can't. She can rally some people. She can have thousands of people come out and see her. But I absolutely don't think she can win.
If the economy, listen, if the economy's bad, and if
Terrence is right.
If the economy's bad, and Donald Trump is not, like, the Republicans are looked at as having failed in their mandate, she absolutely could win.
I do not believe AOC can win because she's just generally off-putting. And I do believe that women have a massive hurdle to overcome in elections. You would need a very weak, effeminate, and short and smarmy male to run against her. But I think, like with Hillary Clinton, she got a miserable amount of votes. If the Democrats ran anybody else in 2016, Trump would not have won. I think Trump won by only 44,000 votes across 3 states.
Do you think that Hillary Clinton lost because she's a woman or because she's Hillary Clinton? Because I think it was because
It's both.
She was uniquely bad because of Hillary.
I think
But
both.
it's both, right?
I think both.
So if you had any other, if you had any other woman, probably would have beat Donald Trump. Hillary, like, dude, there ain't no way I'm ever voting for Hillary Clinton. We despise that woman.
Right.
If they got if there was like a populist female, Trump probably would not have won. So a lot of people like to say that Trump got, he won by like 70 some odd electoral votes. It was a major victory. Yeah, but it was like 44,000 or 48,000 votes in 3 states that got him all of those electoral votes. So it was actually a really close race. Hillary Clinton is despised by way too many people.
Yeah.
If they had literally any other Democrat, I think the Democrats would have won. But Hillary Clinton, it was her turn. I also think with Kamala Harris, like you were saying, there are people who will literally not vote for a woman no matter what.
No matter, and I think it's millions of people who will not vote for a woman no matter what.
Yep.
I'm not talking about small numbers. A lot.
I agree, and so I think,
and I actually, I like that kind of thinking. I like that kind of think. Well, this last election, I'm all listen. I support women. You know, blah blah blah. Okay, but when it came to Kamala Harris, I would literally just. I mean, I enjoyed hearing people say, I'm not voting for a woman. I said, oh, thank you so much. I love you. Because you know what? Like, if it's a woman running that I don't want to win, who I don't want her to win, I support everyone at that point who won't vote for a woman.
They don't project power. Women can't do that. They can't do political power plays on the world stage. It's just not something they do. And think about this. How old is AOC? She's like still in her 30s, right?
Yeah.
I think
she could get pregnant. She could get pregnant while in office.
Yeah.
If that's even a question.
Hillary Clinton got
She's 35.
65,853,000 votes. In 2016. Donald Trump got 62,984,000. So fair enough. You don't think that she could a woman could win? But the numbers say differently. Kamala Harris was a terrible, terrible candidate that had absolutely nothing to offer after Joe Biden, who was a terrible president.
And she lost.
But
right?
that's not to say that a woman can't win. I'm saying that
nobody voted for her in the primary. She was forced on the people anyway. So they like, oh, I guess this is who we have.
Let's jump to the story where I'll explain to you why I don't think Democrats can win. This is a viral clip that's been going around. We actually posted this on Timcast News a while ago, but it's been getting picked up. It's Rosie O'Donnell, who evacuated the country. She fled the country. She's in Ireland now. And when asked about the election, she said this.
A lot of people did vote for him.
Yes.
Do you accept their right to do that and their opinion of him?
Well, I respect their right to do that. I question why the first time in American history a president has won every swing state and is also best friends, and his largest donor was a man who owns and runs the internet. So I would hope that would be investigated and that we would see whether or not it was an anomaly or something else that happened on election night in America when Kamala Harris was filling up stadiums with people who supported her. And Donald Trump was not able to do that.
What?
So it's curious to me. And as an American and a believer in democracy, I would hope that we would be able to look at all of the reasons why this happened.
So I just want to point out how insane these people are. Nixon won a 49-state landslide, and Reagan won a 49-state landslide. And she said for the first time in history, a president has won every swing state. Those two landslide elections are not even the only time a president has won every swing state. The makeup of swing states changes all the time. And swing state is kind of just a pollster's guess. But she's an insane person, and she represents a lot of what the older Gen X to Boomer generation Democrats think and feel.
Yeah.
They think Elon Musk owns and controls
the internet, but they had nothing. But they celebrated when Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg and all these other and YouTube, when they banned President Trump from the internet, when they were censoring conservatives or anybody who did not align with their views.
Of course,
that was okay. That was fine.
That wasn't just okay. That was trying to
that was okay for
democracy.
Oh, and George Soros's money is just fine too. He's one of the richest guys in the world, but he's doing a good thing. But Elon is a bad guy.
There is no reason to expect consistency out of
a man that's
most
allowing
people, but I mean, generally, you don't need to expect consistency out of the left.
But I love hearing Rosie cry. Oh, I love it. Oh, it feels so good. Like, I'm gonna watch this video again before I go to sleep tonight. I think it'll help me sleep better.
A lot of people did vote for him.
Yes.
Do you accept their right to do that and their opinion of him?
Well, I respect their right to do that. I question why the first time in American history a president has won every swing state.
I just want to mention,
swing states don't even stay the same.
That was my point earlier. But if we just remove the stupidity of her for the first time ever, that's not true. If she just said, I wonder how Trump won every swing state, could it be because he was popular?
Right.
You know.
I just got to say, Occam's razor, these people live in crackpot Wally world.
Yeah.
They're just, they hear hooves and they think zebras.
Yeah. Move to art.
Zebras to our Commonwealth friends. Sorry, zebras.
Didn't she say she had to get a therapist or something? I heard she said that. Yeah, in this interview, she had said that. She said that she had to talk to a therapist after President Trump won, and she talked with her therapist about moving to Ireland. That was the best thing to do for her mental health.
She had grandparents, so she got automatic citizenship in her ancestral homeland.
In Ireland? Mm-hmm. That's actually pretty cool that you can do it in most places.
Yeah.
That if your grandparents are from a place, you can go back. And that's like a lot of Americans.
cool.
But I have to give it to Rosie. She actually left like she said she was going to do.
Yeah.
Good job, Rosie. Good job.
There you go.
Yes. So Whoopi, follow after Rosie.
I
Joe
don't think she can
Behar,
get into Ireland.
follow after Rosie.
We should just offer the women of The View a one-way, all expenses paid trip to any country of their choosing.
Elon should let them get on one of his test rockets for free.
Mars awaits. So what people need to understand is that while we're making fun of Rosie O'Donnell, this is how a bunch of the boomer Dems actually feel about what happened.
Yeah.
She did not manifest these thoughts on her own. She's reading this in her group texts, in her Facebook posts, or whatever she's getting. And they genuinely believe that Kamala was filling stadiums and Trump couldn't do it.
Yes.
Boomer libs really do believe that Donald Trump stole the election. There are people that this election. They believe that Elon Musk had access to voting machines and that it was stolen. Not kidding around. There are people you see it on X again. It's
on TikTok
the boomer,
too.
The boomer libs, but constantly. Oh, this was stolen.
It should be paper, not digital, to be.
You know what's crazy? A lot of boomers are on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
They on TikTok. There's a big conspiracy on TikTok that Elon used Starlink to steal the votes.
Yep.
Through Starlink.
He
you guys,
the internet.
Yes.
Crazy shit like that.
You guys really got to check out Verify 2024 on Reddit. Here's one of their posts from 2 days ago. Rosie O'Donnell questions the validity of the 2024 election, but the silence is still deafening.
Yep.
Heavens me. And you've got the People's Voice Not Heard. There's a documentary about it. Election manipulation suggested by breaking PA data analysis. Lights on with Jessica Denson. There is quite literally, remember after Trump lost in 2020, there were just whole movements of being like, no, he's actually going to get elected. And come March 20th, the true date, they'll bring him in. And I kept saying, it's not going to happen, guys.
March 20th still sticks in my head.
The same thing is happening to a certain degree with Democrats.
Yeah.
They genuinely think that Trump cheated, though they're not entertaining the idea that Biden's going to come back or Kamala is because they don't actually have any kind of charismatic leader. But this is not the only forum. This is just one of these subreddits where the left is basically claiming that 2024 was rigged and Trump stole it.
Mm-hmm. I was on TikTok. I mean, I was debating with a lot of people on TikTok. But yeah, there are people on there who still believe that that Kamala Harris will still be the president. They believe that she will be the president because in one of her last speeches, she said, it's not over, guys.
Yep.
So they've been running that clip of her saying, why did she say it's not over?
It's like the QAnon.
Why did
people
she
who
say
said
it's
that
not
Trump
over?
was the shadow president throughout the Biden admin. They were saying Trump was actually in charge secretly.
Right.
Like, if QAnon people who support Trump are willing to believe that, I don't find
But
TikTok
if
theorists
you
hard
listen to,
believe
if you were on the other side and you were watching CNN and MSNBC and listening to a lot of these liberal podcasters and these influencers, you would think that Kamala Harris was going to win. Like, you would think that. You would really think that. I was watching one video on there, which I'm not too familiar with the Divine Nine and all that stuff, but they had this Divine Nine thing trending.
What is that?
It's like the sorority stuff, like Kamala's sorority. It's like
Divine Nine?
Divine Nine. It's like a group of all those. Google it. I don't really know, but yeah,
Okay,
type it in. What is it?
The National Pan-Hellenic Council, an organization composed of 9 historically African-American fraternities and sororities founded in the early 20th century.
Yeah, so
she was in one of them?
Yeah, she was in one of those.
Okay.
And literally, this was another thing.
That's funny because
People on that side, if you were just listening to these people, I saw so many clips where I started questioning the Divine Nine. They were like, Trump can't win once the Divine Nine endorses Kamala Harris because nobody can beat the Divine Nine. And I'm like, and then it's just a bunch of, it's just a group of, what is it? Like a group of black people in these fraternity
I've
groups?
never even heard of it, but
Yeah,
she
it's like
snuck her way in. She faked.
Yeah, so it was like
being black
it's like
in order to
millions
get
of
into
them.
one of them, I
but
guess.
literally, they even had people thinking they said nobody, no president can win without the Divine Nine, and I'm like, what? And there are people listening to this and like, there's no way that Trump won and the Divine Nine
There
helped
were
Kamala
a lot of
Harris. Like,
witches, psychics, astrologers on TikTok as well who were predicting that Trump would lose, and maybe they're trying to piece together some way it could still happen.
I'm not gonna lie though, that was a funny election because Kamala Harris said some of the craziest. She said some of the craziest stuff ever. That was some of the funniest stuff. I mean,
They were almost tricking me into
It was
liking
pretty
her.
funny, yeah. When I remember when Kamala said that her grandmother, when her great great grandmother who lived in a village hundreds of years ago, was fighting for reproductive rights. She would go around with a bullhorn, with a custom bullhorn, screaming for reproductive rights and fighting for abortion in the village.
Oh.
Kamala, shut the hell up.
I just want to give this quick shout out to the Babylon Bee before we jump to the next story, because it's about the leak. They got two stories. One is 4D chess. Genius Trump leaks war plans to the Atlantic where no one will ever see them.
Oh, good.
That's a good one. And then they have another one. This is more silly. It's Darth Vader accidentally adds Admiral Akbar to holo chat planning Alderaan bombing. Those are good ones. But let's jump to this story. This is from the Post Millennial. Rep. Jasmine Crockett faces House censure effort for calling Texas Governor Greg Abbott Governor Hot Wheels.
You know what you get.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. The only thing hot about him is that he's a hot-ass mess. Okay, so I saw the news reports on this, and there were statements that were put up. They're like, I cannot believe she would say such a thing. It is beyond decorum. And I was just like, I thought it was funny. I don't like Jasmine Crockett, but are we really going to be so uptight?
They're
that
trying to use the left's weapons against
jeez, come on.
them.
No, we have
Point
fun.
out their hypocrisy.
We have fun here. I mean,
Yeah.
that's fair. Jasmine Crockett is a hypocrite for insulting at the Human Rights Campaign gala or whatever a disabled guy. That being said, any comedian ever who was roasting Greg Abbott and referred to him as Hot Wheels would get a laugh out of the audience.
They said the same stuff about that Madison Cawthorn guy. I remember, yeah.
They called him Hot Wheels.
Yeah, and worse. Much worse.
They called him much worse things. Yeah. I think actually they called him gay.
No, yeah, they did say
Yeah, that was funny because it's
I don't know what there was to that story, but they claimed that he was going to like gay
events.
gatherings. I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's the weird thing about Democrats is not necessarily the politicians, but a lot of like the liberal leaning people online will attack conservatives by calling them things they supposedly support. Like, you know, you're gay, like you're effeminate or whatever, you're secretly trans or something. And it's just like, I don't understand. You like those things. Are you coming on to me?
Now listen, so I like Greg Abbott. I personally, listen, I am a comedian, like you said. Some people will find that really funny. Personally, I did not find it funny only because now I used to make a lot of, there was a time I made jokes about disabled people and all this stuff, but I had a job where I worked with people who were physically disabled and also, and they had intellectual issues as well. And I just stopped making fun of people who were disabled because I work with so many of them. I just stopped, you know.
I think you make fun of everybody.
Yeah. I mean that's just me. But I do make fun of people like Jasmine. I make fun of that ghetto thing all the time. That hood rat. I make fun of all the time.
I take issue with that. You take that back. She's not hood. She's
My name Jasmine Crockett. Let me tell you something,
she's
okay?
faking
See,
it.
that Texas governor and the Hot Wheels, you know what I'm saying?
She's faking
it. Yeah.
You know she's faking it.
No, I know she grew up.
Right, so don't give her the street cred of calling her ghetto.
She probably love that, right? She probably love
Exactly.
that.
She's pretending to talk like that. Any video you watch from her before she started running,
Yeah.
she's talking like this. You know, I'm really inspired to be here.
She's pulling the Kamala Harris.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She was code switching, so you're actually racist for even saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She was code switching for her safety.
I heard that she
That's
went.
what they were saying about Kamala. They were saying that she was talking white around white people to make sure they wouldn't kill her.
Oh, good Lord.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
my
really
goodness.
the argument for code switching. And if you call it out, that's even more racist.
Kamala went to the South and started using a Southern voice. You from California?
Well, Hillary,
why you trying to talk like
even
an old
Hillary
Southern
had hot
woman?
sauce in her bag.
Absolutely crazy.
Swag.
Jasmine Crockett is another Kamala Harris.
Where
She
is
went to a
Hillary
private
from?
school that costs like $35,000 a year. I'm sorry. I'm from the ghetto.
It's like,
I'm from the ghetto. If your parents can afford to pay $35,000 a year for you to go to school, you are not from the ghetto. You are
It
not
reminds
from
me
the
of,
so-called
Alec
hood.
Baldwin's wife, Ilaria.
But it's tacky.
Girl, your name is Hillary, and you were born in like Boston. Stop pretending to be
Jasmine
Spanish.
Crockett is an embarrassment to America because she's in Congress. She's an embarrassment to us all. She's an embarrassment to the black community, to black women. People get on to me about eating chicken and because you've been a stereotype. She's been a stereotype.
I actually think that the trope about black people and fried chicken itself is racist. It's an inversion because because everybody in the world loves fried chicken.
Absolutely.
And so they were like, haha, you can't eat it now because that would mean that you're making black people look bad. And it's like, no, whoa.
Yeah, right.
Everybody loves fried chicken.
You're trying to get me to stop. That's no chicken for you.
I eat chicken wings like 24/7.
I love chicken. Oh my god! I just fried some in some beef tallow. Oh my goodness!
Ooh.
It was good. The beef tallow, it sound better when it's cooking. It smelled better. The flavor, it was so flavorful. It was so good.
We talk about this like every time you come because it's this weirdest thing in the world to me where there are people on the left who are offended by the idea of this trope of black people eating fried chicken, and I'm just like, it's so good though. Like, who wouldn't like it? I don't understand. Asians, they deep fry chicken balls with a ginger sauce.
Exactly.
Who doesn't like fried chicken?
White people love fried. Look, all of the
love fried chicken.
all-
people love fried chicken.
Every people love fried chicken. Chicken. All Americans love chicken. Most Americans just love chicken. Period.
They're trying to get you to stop eating fried chicken by telling you it's racist.
Exactly. We put chicken in chicken in everything. Chicken Alfredo, chicken spaghetti, chicken a la king, chicken pot pie. We find a reason to put chicken in anything.
I'm telling you, chickens are awesome.
It is. God bless the chickens and the farmers. God bless them all.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, but Jasmine, you know what? I cannot stand her. But I do.
Can we find that clip where she's faking her accent?
I do impersonate her a lot. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. But the girl is ghetto. And there's a guy
Here we
running
go.
against her.
Here we go.
named Sheldon.
Here we go.
Oh,
Just listen.
You know, no one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now it looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress. It's just not what my plan was. But what I've always decided is that I would step up when there was a need.
Because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
Come on.
And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey.
No one could have told me that when I went down to Austin. Now,
Code switching. Is that literally what they do now?
That's called being fake, being
Yeah, it's called
phony.
being fake.
That's
Yeah.
called just being phony.
Well, they say that, you tone down the accent around white people so that they don't rise up in a lynch mob.
Could you imagine if like a white guy did the opposite and like walked into a black neighborhood?
AOC
And
did
toned
the
up the
same
Ebonics.
thing.
She went from, I want to be the next congresswoman to, nah, saying, nuh-uh. I don't play that. See, we ain't playing with Trump. What did she say? She was after the State of the Union, whatever that was. It was the State of the Joint Address. She said they asked her if you could ask President Trump one thing, what would it be? She said for him to stop being Putin's hoe. I'm like, what? Yeah, she is unreal. But there is a guy running against her, some black guy. He's a lawyer as well. Okay. I think he's a veteran. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. I think he is. Well, his name is Sheldon. I hope he wins. I hope he do. She's a damn hot mess.
Indeed. But they're all fake. I mean,
yeah.
When Hillary Clinton went down to where she was like Arkansas or something, and she talked with a Southern accent.
Yeah.
Nobody called that code switching. Somebody was like, we need a PR. We need like a PR move for when we get caught doing this.
Wait, so is that a Mandela effect? Was she actually invited on the Breakfast Club?
No, yes, she was.
Hillary.
Yeah. Yes, she was invited.
She was actually invited on the Breakfast Club.
She had hot sauce, right?
She pulled out her hot sauce.
She had hot sauce in her bag.
She was trying to appeal to black people.
Because of that Beyonce lyric on Lemonade.
She was, I am black, as y'all can see, okay? There is not one black person that I know or that I've come across who's ever carried hot sauce with them in their purse. We don't even put it in our suit. I did not travel here with a bottle of hot sauce. Nobody travel. Who's traveling with hot sauce?
You can. You gotta throw it away. TSA won't let you.
Traveling with and you got a hot sauce bottle in your purse. So you just whip it out.
Sounds messy.
Yeah. That's your favorite hot sauce. Come on.
Put mayonnaise in it.
Come on.
And ranch dressing.
You have mayo in your bag.
I'm from the Midwest, so I'd have ranch and mayo in my bag.
Come on.
That's what we do.
It is pandering. To be honest, that's actually racist. that you think that this is how you win votes. Hillary's like, okay, I'm going on the black show, y'all. Let me get some hot sauce.
What if she pulled out a small deep fryer or something? Yeah. You have that in your purse, ma'am?
I carry hot sauce with me. I carry barbecue sauce. I carry Kool-Aid in my purse. I got Kool-Aid with me, you know what I'm saying? I got some chicken batter in my purse.
I got to tell you, you know what's really insidious about what Jasmine Crockett does?
What?
At these events, she's talking to white women.
Yeah.
When she's talking like that, she's speaking to white liberal women.
And they love it, though. They love it. They're like, yes, she's going to be the one to help us get black votes.
So I think it funnels from like black women, and then it's adopted. The language is adopted by gay men, and then the gay men send it over to the white women in a game of telephone through RuPaul's Drag Race.
I guess so.
That's my theory.
The
funnel of the lingo that they use and the accent.
Nah,
it goes from black women to gay men to white women in that order.
From black women to gay men?
From black women to gay men, yeah. To white women.
Well, I mean, technically, if it goes through RuPaul's Drag Race, it would go black women to black men.
They're white
Did you know that
I've never watched RuPaul.
Black people are the white people of black people? Black men are the white people of black people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
black
I've heard
man.
that.
Well, I get called whitewashed all the time. Terrence, you whitewashed. You acting white.
I'm not. It's not a joke. Straight black men are the white people of black people. You see?
Look,
this is from the root.
Don't
you know? Very smart brothers. You see? Terrence, have you figured it out yet?
I'm a white man. I'm a white man. I'm a white man trapped in a black man's body. That's the worst thing ever. Imagine. Now listen. Okay, you think you are a man trapped in a? You think you are you think you're a woman trapped in a man's body? Imagine being white trapped in a black body. Can't even get my white privilege or nothing.
Well, Joe Biden said that, right? You know, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. You know.
Yeah.
We got to jump to this next story. This one's from the Salem Reporter, ladies and gentlemen. Salem man faces federal arson charges in Tesla vandalism case. It looks like these guys who were caught with the incendiary devices are getting additional charges as Dan Bongino and Kash Patel ramp things up against these domestic terrorists.
This guy thinks he's a Batman villain.
A federal grand jury charged a Salem man with arson after authorities accused him of throwing Molotov cocktails at Salem's Tesla dealership. I kind of think this photo shows the man, at least a man, throwing Molotov cocktails, or at least about to. Fine. In the new, Adam M. Lansky, 41, now faces 2 charges of attempted arson in addition to an earlier charge of possession of an unregistered destructive device, according to an indictment filed in Portland, U.S. District Court, March 18th. In the new federal case, Lansky is charged with unlawfully possessing a Molotov cocktail and 2 counts of attempted arson, one for the dealership building and the second for a Tesla vehicle. He was arrested March 4th. So they're upping the charges. They're adding charges to these people that they're arresting.
Does that not look like a chick to you?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Moo.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it looks like a chicken and moo.
One of my friends actually sent me a video last night.
niqab?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, so one of my friends sent me a video last night. He just got a Cybertruck not too long ago. He went out to eat and he came back. He looked at his camera. It was a woman who appeared to look like a man. I put the post out. I thought it was a man, but it was really a lesbian woman. Went to her navy blue Mercedes and got back out, sucking and licking on her fingers, and just started rubbing all over the car. Writing like, oops, and just
Gross.
This weird. Like, what?
People are nuts.
Like,
did you see the video of there's a guy who's like a regional sales manager, and he keyed a Cybertruck, and he's getting a felony charge now because of it.
Good.
yeah.
But these are like middle-aged professional people. Don't what has happened to their brains?
Right. I never thought there'd be a time where I see liberals burning up tree huggers and people who scream save the planet burn up electric cars and protest electric vehicles. What happened to saving the planet? What happened to green energy? What happened?
Take a look at this video right here. Can we get it? Can we get it to zoom in? Here you go. So this is a video that's going viral. 6 million views. This guy keying a Cybertruck. I don't understand what's wrong with these people. These are the people who advocated for Teslas. They have cameras. Okay, just for those who don't know, right now on my phone, I can open up my app on Tesla, and there's on the left side 2 cameras on each side facing back, 2 cameras on each side facing forward. There's a camera in the hood, there's a camera in the rear, and there's a camera in the cabin.
Okay.
I can see that there's so many cameras, in fact, that when you're driving a Tesla, Cybertruck or otherwise, it creates this. I don't know if you guys have probably seen this when you're driving a car. It creates an overhead view of the car. Have you ever seen this? Mm-hmm. Using the 360 camera data, it makes a view of like you're looking down at the car so you can park it. That's how much it's capturing all the time.
Okay,
And
well,
these
I'm going to start a
people-
trend after this show. I'm going to walk up to your Cybertruck if it's outside, and I'm going to hug the Cybertruck. Probably give it a kiss. Put it on video. We're going to start
It's going to record it.
yeah.
It records. You know, the
Man called hugging Cybertruck.
The annoying thing about the Cybertruck, about all Teslas, is that when you get into them, it always goes Sentry mode detected, like 3 incidents. And it's always you.
Yeah.
You're walking up to the car, you get up to it, you open it, and it's like Sentry mode detected activity, and you press play, and it's a video of you walking to your car, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Sure. But I'm glad it records. It records everything. So this guy is getting a Class A felony in New Hampshire. And check this out. Here we go. We got audio on this one. You can sort of, can you hear it?
No. Okay. Can I see some ID, please? Yeah. You as well, sir.
So right now they're asking for ID.
Yeah, he's from Massachusetts too.
Yep. So basically, I don't know. We don't have to watch it. The cops stopped him. He asks him, "Did you do it?" And he goes, "No." And he goes, "Did you do it?" And then he says, "We have you on video." And the guy goes, "Okay."
No. Okay. Can I see some ID, please?
I don't understand. What happened to people's brains? Oh, yeah. I was saying this a few months ago. I feel like a lot of people in this country lost 10 IQ points overnight.
Yeah, it's silly. What is going through your mind for you to that man who was digging in his behind and wiping it all over a Tesla truck? And how is this fighting? How is this going to? This is not going to change anything at all. It's not going to change anything. And this is coming from the people of they're supposed to be the party of love and tolerance and also acceptance. Well, why are you not accepting the fact that we support Elon or we like Cybertrucks or that we voted the way that you didn't vote? I thought you were the party of acceptance, the party of love, and the party of tolerance. Keying a Cybertruck,
Okay, to be fair, them lying is one thing. We get it. They claim they're for tolerance. We know they're not. My question is, though, I need answers. So you guys who are listening, comments. Seriously, in the past couple of years, the average person's IQ has dropped 10 points. I am not being cute. I am not making a joke. I am saying sincerely and literally. I talk to people and I'm like, I don't understand. Here's a guy who's my age, who I've known for 20 years, and his IQ has dropped 10 points. I'm like, bro, I used to sit down with some of these people and we talk about politics, war, conflict, crisis. I'm talking like 2010. It's like I'm traveling around for Vice. I sit down, we come back, we're playing Magic the Gathering, playing card games. And today, they don't even understand simple math anymore. And I'm like, watching this, I'm like, how do any of these people not realize that the Teslas they advocated for have cameras on them and they're going to prison for felonies? It's not just that. It's all of the stuff related to Donald Trump and politics. Yeah. What is the other playing? It's playing the audio again. Okay, I'm going to close that because it gets annoying when they do that. But I'm just saying, I've talked to people where I've said something like, manufacturing doesn't work that way. And they repeat the same garbage nonsense from the TV that makes no sense, like they've never thought about it. They go, tariffs are going to make my product more expensive. Which product is that? I don't know. Why did you say that then? I'm like, dude, I have had conversations with people where they will say something like, Donald, I'll give a hypothetical because there's a few specific examples, but I don't want to expose anyone's privacy because they're going to know I'm talking about them. But they said something like, Donald Trump made, immigrating to the country illegal. And I'll be like, yeah, that literally never happened. They'll be like, yeah, it did. And then I'll be like, when? And they'll go, I don't know. And I'm just like, here's actually what happened. I'll give them an example. A week later, I'll be talking and they'll have completely forgotten that I showed them this thing. I've encountered so many people that in scenarios like this, it seems like their IQ has just dropped off by 10 points. What is going on in this country?
I don't know. Is it something in the water? Is it something in the air? Is it something in the food? Or is it or is it the things that they're watching, the people that they're listening to? I have no clue, but you're absolutely right.
I think that it's the fact that, everyone has the cell phone constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly have access to the internet. And they stop actually trying to critically think and they just rely on a simple search all the time. And I think that's probably going
to... They live in a completely different reality from yours. And depending on the way that your algorithm feeds you information, you live in a completely different reality.
I get it, but I'm not talking about knowledge. I'm talking about comprehension abilities.
Sure. I don't think it's just a collective IQ decrease. It's something deeper than that. I know I always go to these conclusions, but I think it's a spiritual problem because people have become so disagreeable and ornery and stubborn that their intellect, our intellect collectively, is just darkened by wrath.
And all those roads lead to low IQ.
And hatred.
No. To be fair, rage does make you stupider.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is something that's really important for anybody doing training. I learned this when I was a kid. When you are training and trying to become better at something, if you get angered by it, it actually inhibits your ability to advance and learn. This is true. That's why it's important that you always calm down and try and think rationally, because when you get angry or emotional, it overrides your logic and then you do not improve.
Yeah.
So maybe what's happening is that not that necessarily people's IQs have dropped, but that their ability to absorb information is stunted by their constant state of agitation and anger.
Yep. Yeah, but most people don't know what they're talking about. I got into a debate. It wasn't even really a debate. Well, Trump is. I was talking to an old friend. Well, Trump. Well, so why don't you like him? What is? Well, he said. I heard on the TV they. This is his response. Well, I was watching. What was I watching? I don't. It was that one thing. I don't know. I gotta look again. So you don't know why? So you have to come back to me. So you have to take a couple days to figure it out. Why you don't like President Trump? Like why you don't like it doesn't make it like these. Some people are just not thinking. They're not thinking.
They're not thinking at all. It's an emotional reaction.
Yes, it's just emotional. They're not thinking. Because ask them to break down. Why don't you agree with this? Some of them are so full of rage, like some of them will walk away because they're so full of rage. So you ask them, so why don't you like this? I'm not gonna do this. I'm just not gonna have this conversation. What do you mean I don't like? What do you mean? Why don't I? I'm just not having this conversation.
I kind of feel like, it's invasion of the body snatchers. Some of the people that, like, one example I give is that there's a guy I've known since I was a teenager. And we used to hang out every single day. We used to go skate every day. And then, we drifted apart. I ended up moving. No beef. Periodically check in. How you been? One day, he's online making up fake stories about me for internet clout.
Right.
And I'm just like, what happened to people, man? I mean, maybe that's a normal thing with fame or something. But I do feel like people are Democrats especially, are in a perpetual state of emotional agitation, which is probably inhibiting their ability to think rationally. That could be it.
Yeah.
Because I noticed this, to be completely honest, on the quote unquote right, which is an amalgam of post-liberals, people aren't really that angry.
No.
Like, Jasmine Crockett calls Greg Abbott Hot Wheels, and I laughed.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. Democrats bash their face on the table screaming at any slight, against anybody.
The Babylon Bee was making jokes about the security lapse that the DOD and stuff had the other day. But that's to your point, though. The left, the things that they need, that they want people to vote on, are things that upset you. The Republicans are mean, they're bad. There's these policies. They're constantly saying things like they're trying to kill me. They're trying to take away my rights. They're trying
deny my existence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all of these catastrophic. The way they describe their opponents is catastrophic. It's the Nazis. It's not the people I disagree with. They're the worst people in all of history, and they need to have the left needs to have the right be the most aggressive evil that there is, and so they're always angry and upset because they believe that they're fighting against the worst people in the world. They're motivated by anger and hate.
Yeah.
I like they're pushing this thing saying Donald Trump is going to roll back segregation. Shut up. People really believe this, that segregation is coming back.
Well, it was, but the left is who wanted it.
Yeah, right.
The left is like, oh, well, we need to have safe spaces for people of color and safe spaces for trans people, et cetera. And they want the segregation. They need to have places that exclude white people. That was something that was very, very common to hear about on college campuses 3, 4, 5
It's not coming back. Trump is not bringing back slavery. He's not bringing back segregation. And if he did, I'll be okay because
you're white.
No, yeah, because I'm white, right? Yeah.
Well, in regard to the violence against Tesla dealerships and Tesla owners and the Elon derangement, even though Elon's not my favorite, it's interesting because I remember years back seeing people driving in Teslas and rolling my eyes because it was a status marker among liberals.
Yep.
And that was back when Elon was an outspoken shitlib. And those were the people who stereotypically owned Teslas. And I won't say what kind of car I drive. I don't want people to know. But it is a liberal coded car. And I have noticed I do have, stereotypically conservative cars acting quite aggressive to me on the road lately, ever since I started driving this liberal car. So maybe it's a two-sided thing. Maybe.
Well, conservatives are mad at your car?
Yeah, because it's.
What? I don't believe
I would believe a liberal coded car.
What kind of car you have?
I'm not going to say because I don't want people to know, but like something in that realm.
Oh.
I have noticed a little bit.
And why don't you like Elon? He's an African American.
She's driving a.
I'm racist. That's why.
She's driving a stretch Wrangler.
Yeah.
A stretch Wrangler.
That's right.
That's why people are.
She drives it.
People are menacing me. People are menacing me on the road for it. Seriously.
She's not driving a stretch Wrangler.
Is that like a station wagon? You remember?
I was joking.
Oh.
Just it's a liberal car. That's all people need to know. And I do feel like I'm being menaced by people with Trump bumper stickers and stuff like that.
It's a pink Volkswagen Beetle with a Bernie sticker on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe it's the Bernie sticker. Who knows? But
that's why.
I am kidding. That's not even on the car. Let's grab this last story. We got this from Mediaite. CNN's Harry Enton reports percentage of Americans who think the country is on the right track under Trump is through the roof. Why does Mediaite always do that?
So when you look at this compared to sort of historically,
Yeah.
what does it tell you about the percentage of folks that think the country itself, with him at the helm,
Correct.
is on the right track?
This, I think, is rather important because, again, if the polls have historically underestimated Donald Trump, what is a metric that might get at understanding at how popular he may actually be? So let's take a look at the percentage of the country who say that we're on the right track. It's actually a very high percentage when you compare it to some historical numbers. What are we talking about? According to Marist, 45% say that we're on the right track. That's the second highest that Marist has measured since 2009. How about NBC News? 44%. That's the highest since 2004. Wow. The bottom line is the percentage of Americans who say we're on the right track is through the roof. And if you were to compare it to when presidents have historically been reelected, of course, Trump is not constitutionally eligible to run for re-election, but I think it sort of puts it in perspective. 42% of the country says the country is on the right track when the incumbent party is re-elected. And also keep in mind, back when Kamala Harris lost and Democrats were turned out of power, only about 27 to 28% of the country said the country is on the right track. The bottom line is right now, a much higher percentage of the country says we're on the right track.
So he's basically saying that the Republicans right now have the advantage. The precedent set with the country being on the right track is that whoever is going to replace Trump in the next term is likely going to win. This is massive. And what's really surprising is that despite the fact CNN keeps showing these polls, they are still Trump derangement syndrome.
Yep, they are. But I do believe Trump is on the right track. I think J.D. Vance may be the next president of these United States.
I think that it's worth taking into consideration that the right track, wrong track, it does bring to people's minds what the option is. And again, we're talking about the historic unpopularity of the Democrats. So if people are making the comparison in their mind, what we could be doing had Kamala won, I think we're on the right track as opposed to that. I think that's just worth thinking about because the option it was really, really bad.
We are on the right track. Even the people who do not like Donald Trump, who did not vote for them, their lives will be better off under President Trump. And also, if J.D. Vance is the president next, him as well. Most Americans want the American dream. They want to live out their American dream, want to see their dreams come true. That was not going to happen under Kamala Harris. I mean, the last administration was a straight up clown show. I mean, and look, all this waste that's been going on, like Elon and Doge is uncovering so much waste and fraud. They are saving taxpayers a lot of money. If you are a business, you go on social media now, everybody's teaching a class about how to be an entrepreneur, how to be this and how to be, like all these real estate gurus and all these gurus telling people how they can work for themselves and make money. That was not under President Trump, you will thrive, and he's not going to tax the hell out of you when you do start making money, like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, what we're doing. So if you're a business owner, this is going to be the golden age. If you're just an American, period, this is going to be the golden age. You're going to live a really good life.
Look at what Trump's done with all these executive orders, and almost half, this is within the margin of error, are saying the country's on the right track. So it's going to be interesting. The Democrats and the media keep pushing this insane narrative, but I think if we had an honest media, actually, I'll put it this way. If we banned pharmaceutical ads, then the corporate press would cease to exist, and the majority of media would be pro-Trump. And then these Trump deranged individuals might calm down.
I had no clue that that Big Pharma was sponsoring a lot of these.
Fox News
lot of
is
these networks,
nothing but pharmaceutical ads.
I did not know that. I don't even watch the commercials.
Fox News will.
I did not know that.
They've got carriage fees from the cable channels, and I don't know what's going on with YouTube TV or Sling or whatever these things are. But I watch Fox and Friends in the morning when I'm getting up. I make waffles in the morning for me and the missus, and I watch Fox and Friends, and it's just nothing but the Vanda pharmaceutical one. See, I even know the name of the company, because they have these anime commercials which are just the most insane things I've ever seen, and I love them. I think their drugs are horrible, but hey, that's just me. But they have this one where all of the electricity in Paris goes out, and this woman is running through a thunderstorm to climb a tower to pull the one lever that restores all of the electricity to Paris. And I was like, man, that's an easy city to conquer. You just flick one switch. And the whole time they're talking about this drug that kills you and how it will mess you up. And I'm just like, these are hilarious.
Yeah.
It's art.
They should not be. They should not. Yeah. I'm glad that RFK Jr. is.
And there's that one that Chuck keeps bringing up, that one drug commercial that says to stop taking it if you get redness and swelling between the genitals and the anus.
Oh my!
I am not joking. That is an actual commercial. Okay. Anyway, if you ban these networks go under. They can't afford to pay any of their shills anymore. And I like Fox News.
Well, you can start running some Cash Brew commercials.
We actually talked to Fox
they're
about
going to be very cheap. No, run them after they drop all these big farm ads.
I wish,
because it's going to be the ad placements are going to be cheaper because they're going to need your ads. They're going to need your money, Tim. So because they're not going to have big farmers' money once this thing happens. You know, I might run some commercials too.
We actually were talking with Fox News about doing the Casper commercial, the one where Ian wakes up and the rooster chases him. We want to run that on Tucker, but then they canceled Tucker. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, can't you run it on Tucker's podcast? He does ads.
Yeah, but that's not the same as having a TV commercial where you're watching Tucker and then all of a sudden Ian's being chased by.
What about Gutfeld? you don't think that's a good ad placement?
Oh yeah, maybe Gutfeld.
Yeah, Gutfeld. Yeah. That'd be a good one.
So it's like $10,000 to run a 30-second commercial on Fox News.
10,000.
Yeah.
That's not so bad.
But you got to understand that you're not actually spending money because if your commercial reaches so advertisements on network television can only be you can only spend what you're going to make back. Otherwise, the rates start dropping.
Yeah.
So for us, if we ran a commercial for coffee that costs $10,000, we'd likely at least make that back in coffee sales.
Right.
So then you're getting more product to more people. You might break even, but you're typically making money when you're running ads like that.
And you're building awareness as well.
Right, and that's why people sponsor this show. We to sponsor the top of the show. They basically make back everything they're spending. So.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah, but we got to do new commercials for Casper, especially with Luck of the Seamus coming out.
Man,
maybe we'll get Seamus down here to make something. Actually, I think we are working with Seamus on a commercial, which is really offensive, and I'm glad.
Seamus
offensive to the
I did a Cousin T's commercial, and it was.
I can't imagine Seamus being actually offensive.
Are you joking?
No, I'm serious. He's not. I've never seen him say anything like.
Have you watched Freedom Tunes?
They're funny, but they're not offensive. At least not to me. I don't find them offensive.
Wow.
I like Freedom Tunes.
Yeah, but he's always making fun of people.
He's very clever and very funny, but I mean.
Yeah. Well, we're working on one that I think will be offensive enough to be okay and funny without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So we're working on it. Yeah, we'll have a Casper commercial.
Come on down, Seamus. Come hang out.
Yeah, what are you doing, Seamus, huh? We've been doing this show without you for how long now?
What are you doing?
Just up and left? I'll tell you.
I paid for a commercial once, this company. I'm not even going to call them out. It came back. I spent so much money on it. They promised it's going to be the best commercial ever. And I suggested when we were doing a commercial, I said, I think we should do it this way. They said, no, we got this. We got this.
Like to actually produce the commercial?
Yes.
Oh, you need us to produce your commercial.
It was so... I'm not even going to tell you how much I paid because it's embarrassing.
Yikes.
We
do it for free.
I didn't even put the commercial out. And I asked them, could we redo this and we go with what I suggested? They said, no, we cannot do that. They didn't give me, they didn't try to fix anything. And then the company went out of business months later.
That makes sense.
I said, and I wasted so much money on that. And that hurt because it was in the beginning of me starting this company. So I lost money.
You ever see that coffee commercial that was incestuous?
What?
Yeah.
The Folgers.
Yeah. Where the sister is like, her brother comes in, she's like, you're my present. And she sticks the thing on his chest. And then everyone's like, well, that was weird. What is Folgers trying to get going on over here?
Well, listen.
We got to do that, but for your pancakes.
I will pay you because I've seen your work. It's really great. You got a great team. Y'all put out some good stuff. So, I would not mind paying your guys.
We'll remake that commercial for everybody who gets it. It's like a 10-year-old meme.
Yeah.
And then we'll have you come in and just throw waffles at it and be like, get out of my house. What are you white people doing in my house for? You don't live here.
I got to see that commercial. I haven't seen it.
You've never seen it?
Nuh-uh.
Let me see. It was Folgers, right?
Yep.
Let's pull that one up. I think I found it. Is this it? I think it is. This is the extended version. Here you go. Okay, I'm going to pause. So the beginning of this commercial is the real commercial, but then they added a second part to it. So here you go.
I must have the wrong house. sister. Oh, I missed you so much. They waited up all night for you, you know.
It's a long way from West Africa. Oh, coffee.
He's here.
I brought you something from far away.
Really? Oh.
What are you doing?
You're my present this year.
Okay, so that's it. That was the commercial, and it went viral because everybody was like, so they.
Oh, see? I smelled it. He's back.
Ryan, you have to leave.
What? What are you guys talking about? We know what's going on here. We know you're trying to each other.
What? No. Oh, please. Brothers and sisters don't look at each other like that.
I sent you to West Africa for a reason, Ryan, to separate you and your sister.
You're crazy! Oh, yeah? What's this?
He's my present this year.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. We're
Oh my God! Oh my God!
I'm your son, and I'm in love with your daughter.
Oh, Ryan, what is in that box?
What's in the box, Ryan?
It's mine.
Unbelievable.
Emily, I love that we have so much in common because we grew up together. And I just want to wake up every morning to the smell of you and Folger's Colombian dark roast. And you make me the happiest brother.
I love him!
Hate it.
That's nasty.
See, now, hold on. If that was the actual Folgers commercial the whole way through, I would buy so much Folgers right now. That's what I'm saying. We need for cousin cheese pancakes.
Okay, you're gonna produce my commercial.
We'll figure it out.
I'm gonna go with it.
We'll figure it out. All right, everybody, we're gonna go to our Rumble rants and super chat. So smash that like button, share the show with everyone you know. We got that uncensored call-in show coming up at 10 p.m. You don't want to miss it, so you got to go to rumble.com/Timcast IRL. Join Premium. Rumble Premium using promo code TIM10, and you'll get access to the Green Room show. We have a Green Room podcast up Monday through Friday. That's right. It's about a half an hour long. It's a whole other show of us hanging out in the Green Room before the show, conversations to be had. It's great fun. And then we do the uncensored call-in show. So we're going to grab your super chats right now. Smash that like button, of course, and your Rumble rants. Let's go. All right, Shane H. Wilder says, Phil, thanks for blowing up my socials. Again, Tim, does Luck of the Seamus come with Lucky Charms, a potato, or stolen spoons? No, but Luck of the Seamus has a secret image on the back of the bag that I don't believe is displayed on the website. And all of you will be pleasantly surprised when you receive it. So we should have another 1,000 bags coming in stock soon. We sold 300 in one day.
Wow.
Yeah, that's people love Seamus.
Wow.
Freedom Tunes coffee.
That's amazing.
So it's Irish cream flavored. We've got a bunch of stuff coming out. We got a 4th of July one coming out. We've got Josie is going to have one. We're working on one with Mary right now for Halloween.
Yeah.
Everyone
I
already
won't say any details.
Everyone already figured it out.
We don't want to spoil it.
But that'll be fun. The deplorable Miss Drake says off topic, but my 9-year-old son was super into One Piece. After hearing you talk about it, I suggested we try Dr. Stone. Now the whole family is into it. Dr. Stone is awesome. But, the worrying thing about Dr. Stone is they get some things wrong. So if kids watch, actually, maybe your kids shouldn't watch Dr. Stone. They're going to learn how to make gunpowder.
Hey.
Maybe that's why they got it wrong. I think they said you can make gunpowder with calcium carbonate, and that's not correct. And I think they may have done that because they didn't want kids actually making, black powder.
Yeah.
So there's that. But for those who don't know, Dr. Stone is basically Magic School Bus for little boys. Because regular Magic School Bus is dumb. But this one is the main character he's got crazy hair and he makes bombs and boats and airplanes. And he's like, we're going to go to the moon for some reason. I don't know.
Speaking of shows, I agree with you on Severance. I tried to watch that. It was so boring. Oh.
I know, right?
On Apple? Oh, my goodness.
I think people are lying about it.
I couldn't do it. It was so slow and so boring.
Well, I don't know about, this is the second season they just put out, right?
Have you seen it?
I've seen the first season. I have not seen the second season.
What did you hate most about it?
I don't understand. I didn't like the gay stuff, but the rest of it was pretty interesting.
It's a major plot point.
No, not really.
Yes, it is. The whole motivation for what's his face. What's that guy's name?
He's like a side character.
I didn't even make it that far.
In it.
No, he's not. He's a main character. What are you talking about?
It's been a while since I watched it, I guess.
Okay,
but
to be fair, he's a supporting character.
Yeah.
But he's in the office, and he's like 25% of the show.
Nah.
You guys know what I'm talking about. You watched Severance, and you all hated it too.
The first
Nobody likes
season,
Severance.
I did not make it through the first episode.
Me neither.
Okay, it took me forever to watch it because I didn't even like the damn trailer. The trailer was terrible
Do
to me.
you like Westworld?
The first season.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I couldn't get into Westworld.
It's the same thing that I think with Severance. It's just a good concept for one season, and then it all breaks down.
It's not a good. It's not a good concept for 2 episodes.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. I think Ben Stiller, because he's the guy behind Severance, he saw what happened in Westworld. In Westworld's first season, you had action, mystery, adventure. And you were learning things as the show went on, and everybody loved it. But then they had to advance the plot, and they did it too dramatically. The robots take over, the island's crazy now, and everybody dropped it. When it was people experiencing Westworld and the robots and trying to figure out the mystery of what that symbol means, people liked the show. They turned that off. It's a different show now. With Severance, everybody liked the idea of severing yourself from your work body, but Ben Stiller is terrified of advancing the plot because people will then lose interest. So they just give you the teeniest morsel, and there's only, in the first season, one time the plot advances. One time. The season finale. That's an insane show premise. Sorry. That's nuts.
Yeah.
So I started watching season 2, and I immediately was like, oh my God. So what first happened is someone told me it was a good show, and a while ago I watched it. Allison and I got like 10 minutes in, and we were like, should we turn this off? And she was like, yeah. And we put on something else. We just put on a different show. And there's a bunch of shows we watch. Like Paradise is pretty good. We're starting to watch that one. I know Brett really likes it. So then when a bunch of people started posting that Severance was the best show on TV, I was like, maybe we just need to get through that first episode. Well, got to the first episode, and I just said, I'm just going to skip ahead, but I'll watch it so that I know because people are talking about it. In my honest opinion, I think people are being paid to promote it. I think there's probably, because look, the big thing with it is it doesn't have a water cooler moment like Game of Thrones did, and this is what the commentary on the failures of Apple TV is. Why is it they have a show that that's winning all these awards, but for some reason it's not going viral, and Apple TV isn't actually picking up subscribers because the show actually isn't good. It's good to some people, and if you like Severance, it's totally fine. You're allowed to like it. But there's a lot of shows that have existed with a large fan base that didn't make enough money and went out and got canceled. And so what I think's happening now is they believe at Apple they're missing the social water cooler moment, so they're going to pay for it. Yeah, that's my personal opinion. I don't know that's true. But when Game of Thrones was on,
I love Game of Thrones.
Remember when Khaleesi kicked the fire over and killed Khal Drogo and then walked out of the place in flames?
Yep.
On Twitter, fire emoji was trending. Everybody was posting about it. Severance doesn't have any of that.
They don't.
There's literally nothing in the show where people are like, dude, and remember when the goats were there and they saw no, what? I can go about Game of Thrones and be like, dude, the Red Wedding, they just killed all the main characters. Can you believe it? The Starks. With Severance, you're like, there were goats for some reason, I guess.
Isn't that because Game of Thrones was on network television and now we have streaming services, so everyone is watching different stuff?
No.
It's just become bifurcated.
Half yes. So Game of Thrones wasn't network television. It was on cable. It was on premium. It was a premium subscription service, but it came out once per week. So every day, Sunday, you'd turn it on and everyone would be watching at the same time. And that creates social moment. Smart move. The issue with Severance is, while that does play a role, nothing happens in an episode that you can actually be like, wow.
Yeah, it's boring.
Like when Helly tries to kill herself in the first season, there's just nothing afterwards.
Yeah.
I was about to turn it off right then because I was like, this is great. She doesn't want to be forced to work. And then her Audi, they call it, is in the elevator strangling. And I'm like, this is going to be a great plot development. And they completely abandon it right away. It's mystery box garbage. They make a thing happen. The next episode, it resets. And I was like, okay. So they mentioned that she was out and she was injured, and then she came back, and then nothing happens, and they just wash it away. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, there was only one show on Apple that I was able to get through, and that's Silo. That was okay. It was all right. I mean,
yeah, a lot of people are saying they think Silo is better, and they're telling me to watch it, but I'll just say this. Apple TV is losing $1 billion a year. Clearly, their shows aren't working for people.
Well, the problem is
a money grab for the
Apple just has so much money that it's not anything to them. Like losing $1 billion on a streaming service is nothing to them. They see it as something that will pay off their investment over time, meaning like
I'm just watching whatever until House of Dragons is back. So
I don't like that one. Let's grab some more. We've got Evan Frost says, you mentioned earlier that AOC likely doesn't need planted fans in the stands because she's popular, but that popularity does not guarantee that they'll go to her rallies. No, but it is just not correct that people are paying 30,000 individuals to show up to events. Like if you paid, come on, let's do the math. How much money would you have to pay someone to show up to a rally? Let's just say it could be $50, right? And then you've got 20,000 people, 30,000 people. They claim 34,000. 34,000 people. So what? People think she spent $1.5 million to fill a rally. That's not happening. Nah. Now what they'll do is they'll spend a few $1,000s on organizers who will go to a bunch of universities and tell everybody to come down, and they'll lie about it. They do things like Radiohead's going to be playing, and then everyone shows up, and then nobody.
They invite Megan the Stallion now.
Right.
Well, that's what Kamala Harris did when she had Beyonce play. Beyonce just showed up and like spoke.
Yeah,
for, like,
Beyonce didn't
minute.
even sing. She
And
just
everyone's
wasn't
like, "What?"
paid enough.
People were
to
bummed. But that's the anything to get people in the door. And once you get people in the door, it doesn't even matter if they stay until the end. It's just you can get a picture of the place full, and if people are leaving before the final speaker gets on stage, it doesn't matter.
Ben 5375 says, Tim, 2030 is going to be much worse for Democrats. There was a hiccup in the 2020 census, and blue states got overcounted. I live in MA, and we had 4 extra electoral votes in 24 than we should have, and Trump still won.
That's something that there's been a lot of talk of as well. The problems with the previous census, the 2020 census, and they're looking to fix it for the 2030 census. And if you have to have, I think you're going to have Vance or some Republican be the president in, get the presidential election in the next one to actually fix it and have it stick. But that was an issue.
Robert says, Hot Wheels, a Republican will own it, a Democrat will cry. Abbott could kick Crockett to the curb. Abbott should put Flames decals on his wheelchair next time and come out and just lean into it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yep. The real Doug Lane says, for the record, I actually do travel with hot sauce. Pick to the habit in the Army with those little Tabasco bottles in the MREs. Current favorite is Lisa's hot sauce, the extra hot habanero.
Cholula.
We have a Tim Pool hot sauce downstairs.
Do you?
Everyone loves it. Yeah, it's like a sweet Louisiana or something.
You sell that?
I don't know, but someone that wanted to contract with us for products and production made a bunch of samples, and they gave us a big box of all these different hot sauces. Yeah. Everyone loves them. They're just downstairs. People put it on everything. We don't sell it, though. Although I'm a big fan of spicy stuff. Klutz says, I had a lefty try to use J6 to justify harassing Tesla owners. I said May 31st, 2020 was worse. They had no clue about it, but didn't care when I said that they burned St. John's Church. So what? May 29th. But it was over a long period of time. So what? Indeed, so what? So, yeah, usually when someone brings up January 6th, I say, fair, but May 29th was just as bad, too, and we didn't have a committee about it. They go, what was that? And I'd be like, oh, come on, you know about May 29th. You just brought up January 6th. Yeah. What do you mean? I just pretend like people are supposed to know these things and make them feel like idiots for not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making the argument. I just assumed you knew about the May 29th insurrection when they firebombed the White House. You didn't know that? Oh, that's weird. Why didn't you know that?
It's hilarious that most people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the Republicans' fault.
Yeah, it's legitimate.
Yep. Okay, what do we have here? Therese Fraser says, in Australia, we have to enroll to vote beforehand. Then they mark us off on the day. No machines are involved, forms and pencil or pens only. It is also the law that we have to vote. Indeed, and that is very, very bad.
Yeah.
Because then stupid people who don't know what they're voting for vote for bad things.
I think MTV was the big catalyst for a lot of dumb ideas, and Rock the Vote was probably top of the list. You know, they were the ones that were like, oh, everyone should get out to vote, and
Right.
doesn't matter who you vote for, everyone should vote. And it's like, nah, maybe they shouldn't.
Paul Jones says, for Tim, ostensibly Phil, you guys should listen to Ted Cruz's verdict episode on tyranny of judges. It's good information you guys can pass on to your audience. Also, please read more super chats, less ranting during that time.
No.
Well, I say largely the challenge is we want to use the super chats as jumping off points. We want super chats that are substantive to conversation. There are a lot of super chats, with all due respect, we appreciate them, that are just kind of like, hey, man, love the show. And we really do appreciate those super chats. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to encourage people to not, rumble, rant, or super chat. But the challenge is trying to talk while scrolling through to find super chats that, I don't know, I think we try to pick the most impactful ones. And then some people get mad that someone will do like $100 super chat, but it will be, it's great that you did, but there's no guarantee we're going to read it just because you have the money for us to spend, right? I suppose as a businessman, I should say, if you contribute, the higher your super chat, the more likely we are to read it. But actually, I'm too much of a communist to actually feel like that's appropriate, because a lot of people can't afford that and still have messages they want to get out. So we just try to read the best we can. Like this one. Sean H. says, the left can't even burn correctly. What's their next great insult going to be? Four eyes, you need glasses to see? I don't know. I liked Hot Wheels. Hollow Point says, Tim, the Hot Wheels thing was funny, but we have said numerous times when we get power, we need to use it. Rep Ratchet should be censured. I don't agree that this applies in this case. I don't want to be part of a political party that starts acting all stodgy and uppity and upset over stupid jokes, right? How about when she attacked Laura Loomer's camera guy? You saw that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she should be censured for that. She physically attacked a camera guy. Okay, censure her. She made a joke on stage. I've said worse things about her. Vija's Memory says, fun fact, Japanese people literally have KFC for Christmas. It's because it was advertised to them as an American tradition, and they adopted it, not realizing it's not true. But I do love KFC.
Japan.
KFC, do they sell those little chicken sandwiches?
I haven't been to KFC in a while.
Like a little bun with a chicken
slider, yeah.
Those things are awesome.
I like
put
Popeyes
that
and KFC.
they put that like horseradish ranch or whatever on it.
KFC's awesome.
Raising Cane's is good too. I like it.
Raising Cane's is great. The sauce at Raising Cane's is good.
You know what I've never had?
Some bad sauce.
I have never eaten at a Church's or a Zaxby's.
Never eaten
Zaxby's
a
sucks.
Yeah.
Don't go.
You want to know a fun fact? Church's Chicken, the original name is Texas Chicken.
Really?
And they have some Texas chickens and they have some Church's chickens. It's the same company. They just name them differently in different cities.
Really?
Yep.
Same thing with like Hardee's and Hardee's and Carl's Jr.
Most in a lot of the black communities, it's mostly Church's Chicken. So yeah.
Yeah. That could be why I've never had it before.
Yep.
But I've driven past them. Sergeant Buck says the left doesn't know how many harmful chemicals they're releasing by torching these EVs. Yup.
And they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care, right? Help My Country is, that's too long. Your name's too long. He says, was Jackie Chan code switching in Rush Hour? When
Jackie Chan was just being hilarious.
Dude, Rush Hour is awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
That's why they made 3 of them.
Man, don't nobody understand what's coming out of your mouth.
I heard that Chris Tucker went broke.
Yeah, he said he did.
That's crazy, man. He those Rush Hour, they made 3 of them. They were like, yo, people want to see this. I know.
He said he spent a lot of money and he owed the IRS and he was just reckless with his money.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
I don't even know what to spend money on. What do people buy?
Flying around in private jets and just
I
buying
guess that'll do
luxury
it.
cars, buying houses for everybody in the family.
The jets, that's got to be it.
Yeah, the jets, flying around in a private jet.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Because for people like him at a certain net worth, when you're buying a car, you keep the car. The car can be sold.
Yeah.
But when you fly in a private jet, that just eats money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't want to own a private jet. Nobody does, not even rich people. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Maintaining it is really expensive. So typically they charter.
Yeah.
So a guy will buy a jet and then he'll lease it out to a charter company, and then that covers all the costs. And then when they want to fly, they have to block out like certain dates, like when they need to use it.
Yeah.
But you're usually just flying on some other guy's plane that he never uses.
Wow.
Yep.
Is that what Trump was doing on the Epstein jet?
That story,
Using it?
that was something, he was with his family, and they were flying back to New York, and I think that's what it was. Epstein said, you can fly in my plane. I don't think Epstein was with him on the plane.
Yeah, a lot of people did that.
Right. I've flown on a billionaire's private jet once from Texas. Guy who was just almost a billionaire was like, we're flying to D.C., and I was like, oh, yeah, we are too. And he was like, you want to fly with us? And I was like, hell yeah. And just hopped on a plane. It was great. Rich dude. He said, fly on this plane. I said, okay. He's a cool guy, by the way. All right, let's grab some more. What do we got? Jamie Brockadell says, Hillary never pulled out the sauce that she totally had in her purse. It would have been hilarious if they asked to see the bottle. I don't know. I kind of feel like she probably had something. What if she pulled out this extremely rare, like super expensive, limited, what's the word for sauces? Limited edition?
No, it's just the Taco Bell stuff.
Yeah.
She just has packets of Taco Bell sauce.
I carry these.
I don't know. I would respect that.
I carry these sauces around.
If she was like, I got hot sauce in my purse right now, which kind of she pulls out Taco Bell fire sauce, I'd be like, I might vote for her.
You want to know what's funny?
She'll destroy the world and she's evil, but I like Taco Bell.
She thought that out. That was like a master plan for her. She got invited to a black podcast with a primarily all black audience and said, how can I make good use of this interview? Hot sauce. Let me bring some hot sauce up in this thing. Pull out my purse.
Someone told her to do
It was some consultant that told her, like, Beyonce.
And this, I don't, okay, if somebody, the fact that she said, good idea. I will do that.
Yeah.
Like, this, it's insane.
All right. Red Worm Charlie says, low IQ. Nah. They hypnotize these people. How do I not know how, but I am convinced, I do not know how, but I am convinced what happened. Blame the mockingbird. Maybe. I mean, these people are like, their brains have been taken over,
Yeah.
The Mockingbird.
What was it like Mockingbird, when the CIA took over?
Oh, yeah. Operation Mockingbird. Okay.
What was it? Was it the Body Snatchers where they would barf on you? Is that what the one?
I don't know.
They would chase you down and then throw up on your face, and it would go in your mouth or whatever, and then you'd get brainwashed like that. It was a fungus.
I don't know.
What movie was that?
I don't know.
Someone Google it.
Was it?
Yeah, they chase you down and they barf in your face. Rick and Morty made a joke. They satirized it. But there's a movie where they would chase you down and then barf on you.
Was it like from the 50s, the 56 one, or was it?
I have no idea.
I'm looking. Now the spores in the 1951 it was or 56 is what it was, spores that were placed near people when they were sleeping. Yeah, I don't see anything about barfing.
It's not an easy
There's a bunch
thing
of
to
pods.
Google.
Yeah.
The stuff.
The
There you go.
stuff.
Oh,
That was
okay.
Yeah, people eat it, and it takes control of your minds, turn them into zombies, and then they would barf. They would start barfing on you and
And
vomit.
it was ice cream in the
stuff.
Yeah, it was an ice cream.
Yeah, I just watched it. That's what it was.
Yes.
I watched it a couple months ago. The stuff. That's a good one. Audit the Vote says the 2020 election in Pennsylvania was stolen. It was certified with over 120K more ballots than the turnout showed. We exposed it through a statewide canvassing effort. Interesting. Well, we'll see what Trump does about it.
Right.
Arsenal Man says, bro thinks he's Uncle Ruckus LMAO. Who?
Who's talking about?
Oh, he's talking about me.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right, I know. Yeah, Boondocks. That show's funny.
Uncle Ruckus
Well,
hilarious.
Thank you for paying for a super chat to insult me. Tim really appreciates that.
Trevor Ritsky says, I'm actually white and I travel with hot sauce in my car. It's this delicious truffle sauce that is amazing on everything.
Truffle sauce.
You know, when you go to like these novelty shops and they got hot sauces with just ridiculous names like Butt Burn and Butt Blaster and Feel the Butt Burn and stuff like that. They have a whole, like when you go to, if you go to, what's that place in LA where they have the Grove? You ever been to the Grove?
Mm-hmm.
They have a hot sauce shop there, and you can basically get any kind of hot sauce you want. It's awesome.
They got like different names.
Yeah, and there's all like
weird
goofy
names.
ones, and
Yeah.
it's just like the labels are all kind of like low quality Comic Sans, and you're like, what did a child make this?
Right.
And there's a bunch of them that are just they're gags, right?
Yeah.
That's what's happening to IPAs now.
Ugh, nobody likes IPA.
They all have these stupid labels, though. It's like I don't know, the Squidward hops. Like just
Squidward.
random, like trademarked BS.
I'm not down.
Neither am I.
I'm not. I don't like any of the IPAs or whatever. I
I'm
mean,
not really a beer drinker in general.
I don't drink
You're
anything
not-
anymore.
You
But
don't drink.
even when I was a drinker, I was like, look, if I'm going to drink, I just want vodka.
If I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna drink.
Yeah, if I'm going to drink, I'm serious.
Liberty Prime says, why is YouTube blocking super chats? Are they blocked by the CIA guy? I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure that YouTube blocks super chats that say the word Rumble.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah, someone in our chat today
Catty.
said so.
Why don't you guys that are listening try that? Send us a super chat with the word
Yeah,
Rumble.
test
on
it
YouTube.
out. Little experiment.
Maybe if 29,000 people all sent in $2, you know, that would just be nice.
But do it quick.
Do it right now. Hurry up.
Lord Humongous says, Tim, if you watch the show Common Side Effects, I haven't. Have you guys?
No.
Is it that cartoon? Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I think I've seen commercials for it. K-Todd Swiss says, I'm so disappointed in Seamus abandoning the cast crew, thieving spoons. This is an affront we will not stand. Good sir.
Come on.
My friends, smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know. Join us at Rumble Premium. We're going to be doing that uncensored call-in show at rumble.com/Timcast IRL. But also, if you want to call in, you've got to join our Discord server. So don't just be a passive observer of the news. Be an active participant in the culture war. Join us. Make the world a better place. We're going to win these midterms, but we need you to be present. So go to timcast.com, click join us, get in our Discord server, hang out with like-minded individuals, over 20,000 people that you could be hanging out with. That's right.
That's a lot.
And that means if you've got ideas for projects, you've got people who are going to help you make them. There's night shows, there's morning shows, there's after shows, there's people in the community, they're having conversations, they're programming video games. There's a fitness chat room that'll help you get in shape. Join us at timcast.com. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Terrence, do you want to shout anything out?
Yes, I'm going on tour. I'm doing a show with Adam Carolla on May 4th in Florida. And then I'm doing another show in Venice, Florida. So go to terrenckwilliams.com and all the dates and the cities will be there. And also, I have my Cousin T's pancakes. I just dropped. RFK, I did it. Okay, my high protein pancakes. I got protein and I have keto as well. Protein pancakes and keto pancakes at cousintees.com.
Are they seed oil free?
Seed oil free, no peanut oil, no cashews, no nothing. Straight up Maha, okay? So
I
RFK.
just had a McGriddle this morning, so I'm just like full on seed oil.
Can I have that box or do you need it?
You can have this box.
Yes.
You can, but this is just a prop box.
Oh, there's nothing in it?
I'm a send you because I have to travel. You know, but
then you keep the box. I don't want to take.
But
it.
I'm gonna send you a boatload of pancakes.
Let's go.
Okay. Yes, and I have my collector's 45-47 victory box. You can eat these while watching Trump demolish the Democrats. You know, they taste better when liberals are crying. But Tim, thank you for having me on. This is a big show, so I appreciate
thanks
it.
for coming, man.
It's an honor to come on this show.
Right on.
It really is.
Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You can go subscribe to Pop Culture Crisis. We go live every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can also find me on both X and Instagram at Mary Archived.
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. You can subscribe to me there. I'm Phil That Remains Official on Instagram. The band is All That Remains. You can check out our new record. The record is called Anti-Fragile. You can check it out on YouTube, Apple Music, Pandora, Spotify, Deezer. I feel like I'm missing one. Amazon Music. Well, whatever. Anyways, Left Lanes for Crime.
We'll see you all over at rumble.com/TimcastIRL for the call-in show in about 30 seconds. Thanks for hanging out.